Hello, hello, hello. It's been so
It's been a
long.
minute, Michelle.
We're back. How have you
Yeah.
been?
I'm well. I'm gaining weight, but that's okay.
No. Headshots only over here, because yes, we're not getting into all of that. But we are back. I think the reality shows have been a little kind of hit or miss after I don't know. I've been watching some things, but we are about to review Love and Marriage Huntsville. We know it's on episode 8, but we're going to backtrack and bring it on. We're going to catch up. Now, I will say we both are, new to Love and Marriage Huntsville. And so our perspective may be a little interesting because we don't have a lot of the background. Now, what do you know? Do you know anything about it? Or did you know anything about the show?
All I know is Martell. That's all I know.
Okay. So Anthony, my husband used to, he used to kind of watch it. And so how like you may walk in and out and see. So I do know it was like a group of friends that had some type of real estate, something going on. And I do remember Martell and Melody were married. And even based on the commercials from the other shows I watched, he apparently was a cheater. And of course, we saw him on Atlanta Housewives and there, but we really don't know a lot. So this will be interesting. Y'all gonna have to like fill us in if we.
This is what I know right there.
Okay.
Right below my face. That's Martell in the white.
Well,
that's what I know.
Are we covering them up? I can't see them.
You can't see them? Well,
let me see.
Well,
but that's okay. Martell is in the white. Oh, I see what you're looking at. Never mind. So, even we, like I said, are new to the show, but what we do know is it's messy, and they are back to the mess. And so we are here to kind of bring you our thoughts on the mess. So the main things I saw that were super messy in episodes 1 and 2, which we're reviewing, is Martell being arrested and all of that drama. The Carlos King podcast, which was messy. Sonny and Moses.
But I was so here for it.
He knows what we want. Sonny and Moses, who is, I guess, Destiny's ex-boyfriend, getting married. That was a mess. And Kiki and the blogs. All of it's messy. So let's get into it. Let's get started with Martell being arrested. So do you watch other shows where you saw the commercials for this show and they talked about his arrest?
So I'm going to say no. However, hearing that he was arrested, it wasn't a surprise to me. So I'm certain at some point I had heard about it. Just,
okay.
It might've been on my Twitter feed or whatever, Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. So this was like really the feeder into this season. And it opens up with, of course, him getting arrested, and they mention it's like a domestic violence issue, but it's so initially if you see domestic violence, some people don't even read on. I'm thinking like, wow, I didn't realize he was not only a cheater but a wife beater. But we find out it's domestic violence with a caveat, like harassing communication. So it has Melody and her brother, and then Martell and his mama kind of going back and forth, giving their take on the arrest. But apparently, according to Melody, he sent the text over to a year. I think they both agree on that, over a year ago. But she feels like it's divine timing, that things happen when they're supposed to happen. And they're not sure if he turned himself in. If it was, like, that would be a narcissistic move. So I guess she assumes he's a narcissist. I think I may have heard that too, but who knows?
Okay. Can you help me out?
Mm-hmm.
How does that make you a narcissist? And I'm not saying that it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I just need clarification.
I don't know. I'm just guessing, is maybe because it's like they, I don't know, think so highly of themselves. It's like, oh, you're not gonna get me, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna turn myself in. They're not gonna come get me out the streets. I don't know. I'm guessing. I don't know. But so it was not only a text, but I guess it was also a video of them together that he threatened. I don't know if he actually threatened or she found out, but it seems like he threatened to send it out from a separate Instagram account. And so she, sent out, I guess.
Which, by the way, this sounds like something that he might have already done in the past, because I mean, who promises to do something like that unless this is something that's already on your mind?
Yeah. So that was her version. His version was he went to pick up some records from the police station or something like that, and the kids were in the car. They told him, I guess he had a warrant out for his arrest, and so he had to call his mom and come pick up the kids. She came and got the kids, but he felt like it was motivated.
Well, one of the kids.
Oh, he only had
because
one?
because he said he dropped one off at some kind of practice.
Oh, okay. So he had a child in the car, and I guess she would have had to pick up the other one from practice.
Correct.
And he felt like it was motivated by her wanting full custody of the kids. And his mama was co-signing left and right, like she was amen corner for her son.
But that's a job. Yes,
that's true.
Job. You ain't expect nothing else but that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So he, I think I did get a picture of this, but in case, he was saying like it wasn't that big a deal because it was just a text message. It was 8 sentences, and I think
that he's showing.
Yes. Okay. So he says, leave me the F alone. Stop speaking on me or anything about me. You're bullying me. You say one more thing about me at all, and I'm going to treat you like you treat me. I will go all the way in. It might ruin me, but you and your fans are already trying. Now, please don't call my bluff, because at this point, I'm tired of you.
Wait a minute, Michelle. You took a picture of that?
Yes. Oh, you want me to type all of this in? I was like, pause.
I just wouldn't have. I wouldn't even thought about doing it. But that's what makes you so great.
Oh my God. So I will say, just the text alone does sound a little petty. It doesn't sound like, it just sounds like couples arguing, like he mad or whatever. To me, if I was a police and I saw this, I don't necessarily. He does say,
well, you got to take into account the things that she was saying. And I'm certain you're going to get into it though, right?
What? No, what do you mean? The things she was saying?
So she was saying that he was threatening to expose, like, the video, of the video.
Yeah. Because he was just like, and it was did he say a picture or a video? He just kind of threw that in like, oh yeah, I also sent that along with the message. So I think it wasn't this message that got him arrested. It was the threat in the video.
When he's telling the story, he says picture. When she's telling the story, she's saying video. Mm-hmm.
So I think it may have been a screen grab of the video, but a nice, basically a picture enough where she knows where it came from or whatever. So I don't know.
And by the way, I'm sorry we're skipping. I'm so sorry that we're skipping. No. She said at one point that he put something over his dick to, like, so nobody would know that it was him.
Wait a minute.
She said that. She said that. Yeah. When she was not to her brother. When she was talking to one of the ladies or whatever.
Oh, okay. I was just like, I missed that.
And so, now I want to know, like, what kind of what are you working with that would make it so discernible?
Well, Carlos said it was a hook in it. Didn't Carlos say that? Because he said he said something like,
oh, he
referenced
he has one. He says he has one.
Well, it was almost like another man, almost like he also. So
a hook and a crook. He said a hook and a crook.
And so that's because he did this one. But apparently it's not working as well because she wasn't sad. Did she say she wasn't satisfied in the marriage?
They weren't having sex.
Oh, okay. Well,
they weren't having sex.
Okay. Well, that part.
But I'm sorry. I'm listening to what he said. I'm listening to what she said, and I'm making my own reality. And that's why I'm saying they just weren't having sex.
Okay. I'm sure they weren't at some point, but they had to have been. They got, 4 kids? These 4 times. So I think probably once he started cheating and stuff, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. So I do feel like I have to go back and get the backstory. But I feel like I got enough to form some opinion. So one of the ladies, Nell, was saying that she doesn't agree with him being arrested because it's like, okay, sending another black man to jail. What do you think?
At that particular point in time when she was saying that, I was just taking it in as information, mostly because I don't like, this is my first time watching this.
Yeah.
The more information I got, the more I was just like, yeah, I would have done it too.
Yeah, and that's what I don't. So because it was a threat, but it's just like, okay, and I don't know enough about, like, can you just say, you can't really, I guess you can do a restraining order if y'all have custody. Y'all just have to figure out how to do the exchange for the kids and stuff like that. But I don't know, it's a mess. I mean, I do get her. So it's like, okay, we have enough, black men in jail for stuff they didn't do. It's just like, are we sending another, like, did she go overboard or whatever? But I also feel like we haven't seen the history. So it had to have been a build up of stuff. And she was like, okay, forget it.
So this is my question. So the men, and I'm just skipping. I'm sorry that I'm skipping. The men seem to want him to just take it. Like whatever it is that she's dishing out, just take it.
Yeah.
And so it left me wondering if they were, like just trying to be his friend, or did they really truly believe him? And that was the part that I didn't know. I couldn't put my finger.
So I wasn't even gonna bring them up because I was so confused by that part. Because I was just like, I was thinking the same thing. Okay, like, are y'all trying to help him? Are y'all on their side? Or y'all on his side? I honestly couldn't. I was trying to keep it straight. But they were just yelling different things. And I was like, maybe they edited it weird where I can't figure out what they're trying to get him to do. Because at one point, he was just like, okay, the guy said something. I think I may have wrote it down. But anyway, something like the guy said, we need you to do something or do something. And he was like, what should I do? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, these guys. And it made me think that, well, in the Carlos King podcast, it was a little part where he talked about the guy, Martell, had wrote some posts saying, one of it was like, oh, we're just actors, blah, blah, blah. And that scene made me think they were actors, but without a script. Like, they were like, okay, go in and just talk to him. And then they didn't know what they wanted to say, because I think they are truly his friends, but they don't want to get chewed out online. So they were contradicting their own selves because they don't want to get it chewed out in the blogs and stuff. That's what I think. I don't know.
That kind of makes sense. I ain't gonna lie. That makes sense.
So yeah. So Carlos King, I mean, of course, he's a producer, but he has a podcast that is going to be featured in this first episode. And
by the way, okay, so yes, he invited someone to be on his podcast, someone from his show. He has other people on the show. And look, okay, I get it. Maybe he might not want to invite the fellas because that might make the situation weird or whatever. But why didn't he invite all the other ladies?
Not only that, but why didn't, well, I don't know. I'm just, because other people were like, we ain't going. And then it was people that was just like, I couldn't get a ticket. I'm like, y'all on the cast. Y'all can't just walk. And so that was a little confusing to me. And it could be that we don't have the background now. I don't know. But clearly Melody is the head honcho. She's the Nene. She's the Giselle. She's the, I don't watch the other ones, but yeah, because everything seems to focus on her. He did mention that she was an executive producer, but I did think it was weird that it was featuring only her and the others weren't either required to come or just didn't want to go or weren't planning on coming. So I don't know.
That seems like a little hate.
Towards her or him? Her. Yeah.
Her.
Could
seems
be.
like it to me. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
And I can see that. So I can see her being somebody that people could hate and love, just kind of like all the other ones, Nene and all them stuff, the other characters. I think because
I will say this, my impression of her is I like her, and I like her a lot. I do, to the point where, you know, like I would become a millimeter or whatever it's called. I don't know that I would do that, but I like her a lot because she seems positive. She doesn't seem negative. That's why I like her.
Yeah, and well, okay, I think I like her too, and I mean, you're gonna have sympathy for her because her husband cheated on her, and I think he had a baby outside the marriage, and then did all this kind of stuff for her. But it was something at the end of the second episode with Kiki that showed me a slightly different side of her, where I could see people maybe not liking her. So,
which one is Kiki?
Kiki is the one that went to the blogs. Claims it was her mama.
Oh, okay.
It was her. And that conversation, I mean, I think it was fine, but I could see maybe people not like, I just saw a different side of her where I was like, okay, I can see people.
Remind me, what was that conversation about?
So remember, and I guess we can kind of talk about it because I was going to talk about it later, but I mean, we just talking. So the lady, apparently, this is what I got out of that. They went on a trip to Houston last season, and something must have happened that didn't go well, and she must have got kicked off the trip and had to go home, and Melody didn't take up for her or whatever, and I'm assuming she must have been like one of Melody's friends on the show. In any case, the girl claimed she vented to her mother, and then her mother went to the blogs and shared all this information about what was coming up on the upcoming season. So it was kind of like leaked that this is what was coming up on the upcoming season. So they were mad at her about that. And Stormy, I think, went to talk to her and said, okay, explain this to me. And the lady tried to explain it. And then eventually she was just like, well, no matter what happened, I can take accountability. To me, like when you fold that easy, she probably, I feel like she did vent to her mom, but I think she probably also went to the blogs. So her and her mom both went to the blogs. Because even Stormy said that earlier, she said they had released videos and text messages from her. So anyways, she would have talked to Melody to apologize. And so she was telling Melody, I'm sorry, my mom went to the blogs, blah, 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 blah. And Melody was like, well, you can go ahead and start talking. And the girl's like, I apologize. She was like, what are you apologizing for? And so she was telling her all this kind of stuff. And then Melody was like, well, you said what you had to say. Let me say what I had to say. And so she was like, that was 6 months ago. You never reached out. If you was mad at me, you could have told me. And she got to keep her friend group small because loyalty is big for her nowadays, blah, 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 blah. And then she was like, I wasn't quite sure, but it seems like she's fired from the show, right? Kiki, didn't it seem like she kind of let her go because she was like, and it sounded like that Kiki was a drug addict, but she's overcome. And so her coming on the show was like her opportunity to show people
redemption.
Yeah. But anyway, that's kind of what I got from that part. But we'll see.
So Kiki is a liar. Kiki. No. So Kiki. I really felt that Kiki was a liar. Okay, so this is what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. I understand that there are times when you go and you tell someone yada 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 yada, they want the limelight, and so then they go and they whatever, and then you get the repercussions as a result of that. That was kind of sort of believable to me. However, when they started talking about they had screenshots and all the other kind of stuff. Yeah. And I was just like, And then the fact that you're like, clearly you're not like one of the main ones. Mm-hmm. And because you're not one of the main ones, you're trying to build your clout, if you will, so that you can become a main.
Right.
And so, like none of that seemed real to me.
Yeah. And sometimes it works. So like, I think in the case of Sonny and Moses or whatever, I think it's going to work in their case because it's juicy and it seemed like, she won. That's going to help bring the mess. But Kiki, I don't think she's bringing enough to the table to support her staying based on what she did in the blog. So we'll see. But it sounded like I wish you well on your journey type thing. And
it sounded like she was firing her too. I was like, what?
And with her being a producer, I think she probably can hire and fire.
So you know what? I need to find out what type of power executive producers have,
Mhm.
because some blogger was saying that Candy did not fire Phaedra. That's what he said. He was like, Candy did not fire Phaedra. She was an executive producer at the time.
Mhm.
So I was just like, what?
Mm.
I don't get it. Like, make me
Oh.
understand. Make me understand, like, what type of power, or is it something that the producers decide? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I just assumed that, not that they had the power to fire, but they can heavily influence, the hiring and firing. So they can give their input and then they can take it or leave it. Because it sounds like, I just remember in some seasons, and it could have been like, I ain't coming back if one of us got to go and they decided to roll with Candy. I don't know.
This is what I always assumed. They said, hey, because this is what I do know. Do you remember that TV show Charmed? I used to love Charmed.
Okay, I didn't really watch it, but I know what you're talking about.
So it got to a point where they had been on for so long that they made them producers, and all of that really meant was, hey, we can't pay the salary that you're requesting, but if we make you a producer, we can add this extra money. You don't really have to do any job. You don't have to do any work. We'll just call you a producer, and then that will justify you getting this extra money. So I just assumed that an executive producer, in the case of talent, that was really just like an honorarium, if you will, kind of like an honorary title, but really it's to justify your payment.
And I always assumed executive producer meant you would put money into it. But I mean, based on your Charmed example, it can mean that too, or it can mean, because there's people that's executive producers that aren't on there. So I didn't know if they're funding it or what. So yeah, that's yeah, I don't know. Anybody out there know, y'all can let us know.
Okay. We got questions.
Right. Oh my God. So back to Sonny and Moses and Destiny. So I think I skipped Carlos. We'll get to him last, I guess. Or do you want to talk about Carlos now?
Go with it.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay, so this is all new to us again, but apparently Destiny was on the cast, had a boyfriend named Moses, and also a producer named Sonny. Now, Moses, from what I could tell, never appeared on the show. Did you get that? Like, he never was on the show. He was just a boyfriend that was referenced on the show. That's what I got from all the conversations. It seemed like he never.
I assume that they showed him a couple times, but he didn't show up to the reunion.
Okay.
Because I remember because Carlos asked him that question, like, why didn't you show up to the reunion?
Yeah, so he didn't show up for her. But then it was something like, somebody said something like, it was a couple of ladies that made it seem like, yeah, like they knew he existed, but they didn't really know him. And then the producer was like, I never filmed with him. So that could have meant that she was a producer, but never was in any of his scenes or something like that. I don't know. But in any case, she was a producer. She did work with Destiny, and Sonny and Moses was the boyfriend. I'm assuming Sonny was in Huntsville. Moses was in St. Louis. So they had a long distance relationship. I'm assuming it wasn't the best relationship. What I think is to be discussed is if you think because I feel like it's truth on both sides and lies on both sides. So Sonny claims that she never, Destiny never confided in her about Moses. So it wasn't like that type of relationship. Like, it was professional where they talked business, but they didn't really get into her relationship. That I'm not sure of. I'm not quite sure of. So I feel like she may have confided in Sonny about him. That I feel like. However, I don't think they were as close as Destiny is making it seem they were.
So this is the thing. The name of the show is called Love and Marriage, right? So if you're not married, then definitely you need to be in love. So at some point, the old girl was talking about her fake boyfriend, right? Or whatever kind of boyfriend Moses was to her. She had to have been talking to her producer about him. Okay. So in my mind, the one who's married to Moses right now, is that Sonny?
Sonny, yes.
Okay. Sonny was lying in my mind. Now, the friendship label, that is kind of fungible. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I can call somebody, oh, that's my friend. In my head, I'm like, I don't get down with that motherfucker. But I don't know what else to call them right now. So that's my friend.
Mm-hmm. And they both did mention friendship was a little loose. However, so Destiny, which is the ex, she made reference to, what did she say? That Sonny would send her texts like, hey sis, I miss you, stuff like that. Now, I know for some reason, I'm not gonna lie, it could be just my vibe with you initially. So like it was a couple we met on vacation that I liked. Like we hung out and all this kind of stuff. I don't know her. I wouldn't necessarily say she's my friend, but if I text her, I might say, hey sis, you know, like, hey sis, what's going on? Just because that's the vibe I got from her. It could be people I've known for years where I would never, and they could actually kind of be my friends, kind of, but I don't reference them as sis because it's not that. I don't know. So that piece, I don't think proves that they were friends or anything like that. Sonny claims that she paid for stuff for her, like she did stuff for her, like they had a relationship, but it wasn't like I wouldn't call her my friend. So the issue is that it is gray. Melody said it's a little gray, but the breaking up and the getting together, because it did definitely do all of this. So January 2023, he met her at a family event. And I guess that's where they start calling each other cousins, because they were at an event for their family. So they called each other cousins or whatever, which I think I've done in the past too. Like, oh, my play cousin or whatever, you know, like, oh, we must be cousins because our last name is something, in case. So they did that. They claim that in July is when they exchanged numbers. They did not start dating until August of 2023. So he claims also that he never broke up with her. So it's just a lot going on. He never broke up with Destiny. It was just kind of like one of those things that it just ended. Sonny claims that he was dating several women. She was a side piece and she was never the main one. So it was a lot going on. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think all of the above is true. And let me tell you why. I've been in situations where, we're dating. I wouldn't say that we're in a relationship. We're dating, and then all of a sudden, I'm sad to say that I've ghosted a few people. And people have ghosted me. And so, like I can see where both things could have happened.
Now, there was also a discussion of so Sonny texted Destiny and was like, hey, I need to talk to you because basically we're in a relationship, we're dating and it's getting serious. So I want to talk to you about it. And I'm assuming Destiny must have heard through the grapevine or something like that, but she either didn't respond or she blocked her, or she did something. Now, when Destiny was talking to Letitia and that other lady, Kimmy, they kept harping on Moses should have been the one to contact her and tell her about the relationship. I don't think he should have. To me, like if you're broken up or the relationship seems like if y'all ain't talked and it seems like it's over, I don't think he needs to tell her. I don't know. I didn't feel like he needed to tell her, or it was his responsibility to tell her he dating somebody new, even if he met, if it was a mutual thing. I don't know, because it was over. I do feel kind of like Sonny should have mentioned to her, like, okay, even though we're not friends, we were acquaintances, we work together. I'm dating your ex and it's getting serious. I do feel like that was okay to do. But I don't think it was necessarily anybody's responsibility, but I definitely don't think it was like on Moses. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
No, I feel exactly where you're coming from, because the reason I was doing all this is like, I don't know if I would have, if I were in either position, I don't know if I would have done that. If this person is my ex, and depending on, how long it's been or the state of our relationship, how we broke up, all that other good stuff, that would determine whether or not I would contact, my ex, right? And if I'm the friend, right? If I'm the friend, but we're really not friends or whatever,
Yeah.
like in that gray area, we definitely haven't talked in X amount of time. There's an argument to be made that I should have contacted them, but there's also another argument to be made that I didn't have an obligation to contact them. So I was kind of iffy on that.
Yeah. Now she did mention, I guess, I don't think they were in a 15-year relationship, but she must have known him for 15 years. She said they go back 15 years. So I'm assuming she just knew him.
Right.
He was a friend, and they ended up getting together or something like that.
She on the show and she needed a man, and that was the one that was available. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, so that was a bunch of mess because it was kind of messy. Everybody that was on the show seemed to think it was messy to date. If you're a producer, to date somebody's ex, because they kept saying, hide your kids, hide your husband, hide your
yeah. On that point, mm-hmm. I was with, like, if it's just like a regular person, I don't know if I really care. But if this is my job, if this is related to my job, and these are the ethics of the job, then yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I don't know, it wasn't quite clear if she stopped working there because she started dating him or if she had already moved on, or not.
She made it seem like she left because of him.
Oh, okay.
That's what she in my estimation, mm-hmm. She made it seem like she left because of him, because she said she was gonna, like, hey, this man is somebody that I can build generational wealth with. Money. Okay. She wanted the money. So
and gonna leave the job. If she could help the girl out, she must have money to lay.
I like what I don't know her name, but she was like, "Don't bring money in this." I was like, "Thank you," because I don't care about that.
I was mad about that actually because, the reason I was not happy about that is because she said, "Don't bring money in there. You're throwing jabs." And I'm like, y'all been throwing jabs at this girl the whole dinner, calling her trifling and all this kind of stuff. And she do one thing and all of a sudden, don't do that. You throwing jabs. Wait a minute, what's
that? Look, man came in to fix my my air, and all these little fruit flies.
Yeah, they're so it's well, I'll tell you later, but it's like a little, I don't know if you heard, like, you can make it like a bowl with, I think, dishwashing liquid or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But that's worked. But anyway, I just saw you spraying in the air. I'm like, what is that? What is going on?
They're attracted to my eyes. I don't know.
Like, what is, okay. So, this kind of overlaps, but the Carlos King podcast, again, we mentioned that he had Melody as the guest, and she hadn't been to prom before, so he gives her a tiara and a crown or whatever. And so they start the podcast. I'm trying to get back to where I was talking with the client. Okay. So we talked about the Melometers or whatever. I'm assuming they are Melody fans, but somebody described them as a group of evil middle-aged females, and she didn't want to be around them. And I could get it because the way they was yelling in that audience, I mean, they were very vocal. So I could see them being, I don't know necessarily evil, but opinionated, I'll say. They were definitely opinionated. So anyway, he asked her if she has any regrets from the show. She has no regrets. We talked about her. She said she was not sexually satisfied in the marriage. She didn't know it at the time because she hadn't had anything better, I guess. But now she has, and she knows it wasn't good. Now, he talked about Martell's post from the last season. This is what happened. So I guess it was a scene last season. They didn't flash back. They just kind of referenced his thing. But this is me gathering from what I read. But it must have been a scene where he was acting like he wanted to make up or make amends with Melody. So Martell brings flowers to this date or meeting, and she must have gone off or whatever. And it seemed like he was trying to get her back, and then she rejected him. And he claims that he was told by Carlos King to bring those flowers. And Carlos was like, nope. And so he showed the little thing, was like, nope, we did not tell you to bring those flowers. You brought those on your own. And it's not our fault that she didn't accept them. So Carlos, I don't know. Okay. I don't know if Carlos told him to bring the flowers, but I feel like just from watching other reality shows or even other shows of his, I feel like they may not tell you to do something specifically, but he may have been like, you got to bring it all. You got to bring your best to this date because this is your last chance to try to get her back, or you got to try to convince her to bring, whatever. And he brought flowers. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Carlos necessarily specifically told him to bring flowers, but he definitely told him something. Because even I was watching, I don't know if it was a Carlos King podcast or it was a clip of something. Oh, it was when Carlos King was talking about Atlanta and how bad it was and how they need to do better. And he mentioned that in his show, because I do watch the little show from Mississippi, Bill, I can't think of the name, but the Jackson, Mississippi show. And he says like he sits down with them to talk through and make the show good so they can, it's real stuff, but they, juice it up or whatever. So I feel like he probably did. I don't know. I don't put nothing past Carlos on messy self. So anyway, let's see. She regrets having kids with him and wants him to be a man and go through intensive therapy. Which, I mean, he probably, I need to watch more seasons, but just the vibe I get, they probably both need to go through intensive therapy. But then we talked about Sonny and Moses, but that was like the thing because he like brought them on stage, which was messy. But let me see, anything else we didn't talk about?
Those were both episodes, but you know what? Those two episodes seem to run together.
They merged together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The only thing, I think the only thing was the guys talking to him, but it was still about the arrest and him going back and forth with Melody. But yeah, we'll see, because it seems like they're gonna keep, I don't know, but it seems like Sonny may continue to be brought up on the show. I don't know where else they're going, but we'll see. I do think so. Letitia and Kimmy, the girl that met with Destiny, I don't know if they're married to the guy. I think they're married to those guys, and they were all friends at one point. But it seems like, at least from what I'm getting, Letitia doesn't like Melody anymore. Maybe, I don't know. That was just the vibe, because the fact that they were like, we ain't going to that podcast. That mean, I don't know.
I haven't gotten to the point where I've learned these women's names or men's, other than Martell and cool. Melody.
You learned a lot about him. And the only reason I had to learn, because I had to write it down, was like, I got to reference these people. So I have to remember names, because I did have to rewind and be like, okay, what was her name? Because you know how, like, when you watch, let's say you watch Atlanta, and they keep bringing Candy name up. You're like, why y'all bringing Candy name up? Everybody know Candy. Everybody don't know Candy. So I appreciate it every time they brought up these names. Because I was like, who is she again? Oh, Stormy. Okay, good. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But
look, I do want to say this. I look forward to watching this because it's so messy. So messy. They're just so messy. These people are just messy. Right. And I love it. Yes. I love it.
We love the mess, and they are bringing it.
I don't know why I haven't been watching this since the beginning. Ain't nobody told me nothing.
Now, I mean, I guess I've seen it trending, and I've seen the names. You know, like when they show, I don't know, when different things trend, or even if you see things on Instagram or whatever, I've seen this pop up. So that's really how I know the characters and kind of the vibe of who likes who and stuff of the main characters, but I don't really know. So yeah, I think I will eventually like start from the beginning to see if the opinions I have today will stay the same, but it won't.
And you know what's difficult for me? Okay, so the women, they come, they have a certain hairstyle. You see them like again, and they have a different hairstyle. And I'm like, I'm so confused because you kind of look familiar. You look like the one that was in this one, but you got different hair now. So I'm
I totally agree with you because I think it was the lady. She actually had cancer, so I felt a little bad. But they, you know, like when it's your scene, they show like a little intro pose of you or whatever. And she did her intro pose, but then the lady that they showed in the scene, I'm just like, is that her? Is that? And it was her, but I guess she mentioned she had cancer, so maybe she grown her hair back out or something. I don't know.
Another thing, this is like especially for the men, not so much for the women, but for the men. Sometimes it was at least one guy. In some scenes, he looked light skinned, not light skinned, but he looked lighter, and then in another scene he looked darker. So I was like, I'm so confused because because I know Martell
under any lighting. Huh?
And then there's the bald guy, right?
Yeah.
And so then, like, one of them is bald.
For sure. I thought they both were, but I can't remember.
Well, oh Lord Jesus, if both of them
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the one that I thought was the third one. Sometimes he's dark, sometimes he's light, and so I'm like, and then like when I was trying to find an image for the thumbnail, I was like, wait, who are all these other people? I was like, all right, I did see them in the show. I guess those are like the subcast members or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh Lord Jesus, this is gonna be a lot for me to, but
it's fun actually. I was like, it's kind of fun because it's like, so it can be frustrating a little bit because you have to like learn and figure out things, but then it's fun too because you're coming in with an open mind. So it's like it's rare that you come into a show with an open mind where you don't know the people and you can really form your opinions based on, I guess, this season's edits, but see what you think. But I am going to go back and watch so I can,
you know, go all the way back to season 1.
I think. I mean, I'm not going to do it like now, but I will just to kind of see because I do. What I do remember from when my husband watches, and they do this on every show, but they've definitely upped their fashion and makeup and hair game for sure. Because it was a couple of them, I was just like, oh, that's her, you know. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll be reviewing episodes 3 and 4 next week, along with we're gonna start reviewing Real Housewives of Dubai. So that one's new for us too, but I think I may have time to watch season 1. We'll see. But for sure, we'll be reviewing episode 1 and 2 of Real Housewives of Dubai next week, and then we'll catch up and be on task with them. So yay!
So hold on. So next week, are we doing Love and Marriage and Dubai, or are we just doing Dubai?
You tell me, because I thought it was every other weekend, but I thought you said we'll do both next week.
That's what I thought.
Okay, so yes.
Okay, so for Love and Marriage is going to be episodes 3 and 4, and for Dubai is going to be episode 1 and 2. So altogether 6 episodes that we'll be covering next week.
4.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was just like.
My major was political science, not math.
What did you teach? What did you teach before?
Geography.
Oh, I don't know why I thought you taught math. You never taught math?
No. You thinking about Willie.
Maybe so. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I guess you. Oh Lord! But y'all didn't have to calculate the miles on the map or something. No, anyway.
No.
Well, I thought we had to do that in geography. You know how like they have a map and then you have to measure what.
No, you just have a little key. You just have a little key. You just use the key.
Okay. Anyway.
See, you trying to play?
Yes, 4 episodes next week. But yeah, let us know definitely if y'all know anything about executive producers. Put it in the chat. Let us know, or put it in the comments. Let us know. Otherwise, we'll see y'all then. Take care.
Y'all have a good one.